Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to another live stream. Back to another live stream. Back
100 times?
to another live stream.
200 times?
Back,
500 times?
Probably.
Who is Jose Arteaga?
Jose Arteaga is a YouTube content creator with several channels focusing on different themes.
I can't do it. We'll do it live. We'll do it live. Thing sucks.
His main channels include travel vlogs and lifestyle content. On his travel channel, Jose Arteaga Travels.
You ain't got the answers, man. You ain't got the answers.
Additionally, he runs a cooking channel and engages in other personal projects that highlight his diverse interests and expertise. Projects and expertise. Projects and expertise. Project, 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 project,
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay. Do you understand that? Turn the friggin' frogs gay. Serious crap. Gay. Frogs, friggin' frogs. It's not funny. I'm gonna say it real slow for you. Gay. Frogs. Won't you fight for your life? Gay. Frogs, friggin' frogs. I don't like them frogs. Gay. Friggin' frogs. Frogs. Friggin' frog crap. Won't you fight the frogs? It's not funny. I'm gonna say it real slow for you. Frogs.
Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome back to another live stream. You guys already know I was not here last week. Well, some of you guys know, some of you guys don't know. In the meantime, you know, I had a lot of time on my hands. I didn't have any time on my hands. But anywho's, yeah, you know what I mean? I took the week off because last week we had a situation with the whatchamacallit, the Starlink, you know, my internet provider, because again, we had like a down, so the satellites were down, and so basically I was, you know, I had no internet for a few hours, and so, you know, right now we're going to be struggling a little bit with the internet because that's why I was a little late. Seems like a storm is a brewing. You know, we are now in the middle of the rainy season out here where I live, and it's you know, very cloudy, very rainy. It's going to be very rainy very soon. So hopefully, you know, we can get through the episode here, you know, with any kind of issues. So anyways, in the meantime, I did a video with my friend the other day, and I wanted to share it with you guys. Hopefully you guys are enjoy it. I'm working on a bunch of things out there, and this is one of my new projects. So here, check this out. A democracy is basically a government of the people, for the people, by the people. But the people are retarded. You see, even he gets it. Anyways, all right. I know, maybe not as funny as I initially thought when I first created this thing, but hey, whatever. I'm learning as I go. This is my first ever, you know, creation with AI. Me and my friend, you know, I got a friend of mine out there. He's like a programmer expert, you know, nerd, you know, shout out to him. I'm a nerd too, whatever, you know, we're different kind of nerds, but he's one of the real nerds, you know what I mean, like the real, you know, guys out there that like again, you know, making applications, websites, programs. And in this case, you know, he's working with AI, and we were talking the other day, and he's like, you know, this is like his new hobby now, you know, playing around with AI. And he's like, hey man, you want to start making some videos together? And I'm like, yeah, let's do it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that little clip there. little AI video that I made with my friend because we got more coming. So yeah, that's right. Luz CQ. Shout out to you, brother. That's from the Islamic ruler guy. I saw that clip. It was hilarious. Oh, cool, cool. So you liked it? All right. Yay. Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Any kind of positive feedback would be appreciated, man, because you know it's hard to come by these days when especially trying to make new things out there. So thank you. Muchas gracias. Thank you very much. It's really nice of you, really kind of you. But yeah, anyway, so that was our first creation ever. So I did the script and I did the voice. You know, I'm the turtle and the rabbit. You know, and then he's the one that made the AI turtle and the rabbit. But we're working on it. You know, we're still got a lot of kinks to work out, and we were actually able to do this in a few hours. So it's actually pretty cool and fun. And I appreciate, you know, again, any kind of positive feedback that I can get. Oh, sorry about that. Bless me. Anyways, shout out to myself there. Anyways, bruh. Yeah, like I said, the weather's turning, and you got the allergies flowing. You already know how it is. So, anyways, so today's episode, today's video, today's live stream, you know, we're gonna be talking about what's going on. You know, why has the world turned so gay? Now, again, a little caveat. I got nothing against gays, gay friends, gay people, gay anything. You know, I got plenty of gay friends. I got plenty of trans friends. I got everybody. Whatever. Okay. I love everybody. All right. No homo. But anyways, I love everybody. I got nothing against anyone. But what did I mean? What do I mean by the world is gay? You know, what do I mean by what's going on with all that? Well, you know, what I mean is that, well, when I was growing up, you know, back in the 90s, you know, whenever something sucked, whenever something was not good, we used to say, man, that's gay. That's that's just so, you know, that's terrible, you know, that's gay. Bruh. And so that's the way I'm using it now. You know, when I use that word, you know, basically, you know, whenever something sucks, it's pretty gay. All right. Now, again, I'm sure you guys already know the full video here. Hold on a second. Let me play it because, you know, maybe some of you guys don't know. Hold on. Some of you guys maybe not never seen it before. You know, the full clip. It's hilarious. Good stuff. Comedy gold.
We bring in the studio this morning one of the gay rights activists, Mr. Should I call you Mr? Sure. Pepe Julian Onzima. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for
Good morning.
Me. Morning to you.
Why are you gay?
Who says I'm gay?
You are gay. You are a transgender.
What shows that I'm gay?
You are a transgender, and you're a gay rights activist and an outspoken lesbian, homosexual. How can I describe you? Now we're looking at the raging debate. You're gay.
Anyways, or whatever. Anyway, so you know, back to you know, we're saying. So yeah, what's going on? What's going on? You know, why is everything so gay? You know what I mean? Obviously, we listened to Alex Jones here, and he's saying,
Gay. Do you understand that? Turn the freaking frog gay. Serious crap. Gay. Frogs.
So you already know where I'm probably going with this. You know, well, is it that, you know, what is it? You know, what has turned everything so gay? You know what I mean? What is the reality of it? You know, is it the frogs? Is it the microplastics? Is it something else? You know, what exactly is it that's going on that's just you know, creating this world that is very well, basically things are, you know, kind of like flipping on their head. So what do I mean by that? You know, why is it that the men are becoming more more feminine, and why is it that the women are becoming more masculine? Is it just feminism? You know, I mean, the frogs turning gay, right? You know, but again, what's going on? You know, why is everybody just backwards? You know what I mean? Why do the women want to become men? Why do the men want to become women? You know, what is going on with this? You know what I mean? And so, look, the reality is that it's a combination of everything. You know what I mean? You know, it's part of the things that we've talked about here on the channel. You know, when we talk about you know, when we were talking about recently, a few weeks ago, we were talking about the weak men create hard times. You know, again, you know, these weak gay men, you know, create hard men. Wait, what? Wait a minute. Hold on. No, that's not what I meant to say. Hold on. No, but you know what I mean. Like at the end of the day, it's all part of that. You know what I mean? Because look, the reality is that what I'm trying to get at here is that the reality is that we are living in a society that's full of weak individuals, weak men, and these weak men in turn start getting very effeminate. And look, I don't want to hear it. Even the Andrew Tates of the world, all these ultra macho men, they're not really men. Okay, real men are not out there. You know what I mean? Doing those things. Okay, or acting a certain way. Real men are not even on YouTube like I am. Okay, I'm borderline in the sense of like, I'm not trying to be, telling you guys here like, oh, I'm a super alpha male or look at me. No, no, listen. I'm a modern man. Okay, we got modern problems. All right, and the reality is that what's really causing all of these things. What is it making society so weak? Why is everything so gay? I mean, look at right now what's going on in the U.S. government. With everything with Trump. I'll say it. And the whole Israel thing and things like that. Why are people in the streets? Literally. With a revolution, causing, creating, what is it like, creating a change. Everybody just wants to sit in their couch, and yell and scream and get on their phone and play their little violin and just hope that somebody else fixes the problem. And the reality is that no one's going to fix that problem. You got to go fix that problem. And so, look, for example, this is why I left the USA and I moved to Mexico, because out here, I don't got to worry about those problems. I really don't. Because I know I'm not going to fix those problems. I'm only one man. I'm not going to pretend like I am going to fix those problems. There's nobody else out there, that's willing to do that. The few people that have trying to do something, to fix those problems, well, you already know what's happened to them. They get disappeared. They don't. One thing that we're learning about the world that we're living in today is that we're realizing that all the good guys, there are good guys. There's always, remember in the movies, the good guys. You got Superman, you got Batman, you got whatever. You got the good guy in the movie, right? But the reality is that the good guys, they really don't exist. And the few good guys that have existed, not just now, but throughout history, they also, again, they get eliminated very quickly. In fact, people right now are like, oh, Trump is our savior, or Obama was our savior, or Clinton, or whoever the whoever the fuck, what I mean, is going to be our savior. When the reality is that none of those people are saviors. No one's going to do anything. The last president that the U.S. had that actually tried to do something, okay, they shot him in the face in front of everybody. Okay, John F. Kennedy. All right, I'm not saying he was perfect. I'm not saying that whatever, but he actually did try to do many things. He tried to attack the CIA. He went after Israel and AIPAC and whatever. Well, not AIPAC. AIPAC was created afterwards because he went after the Israel lobby. Anyways, he went after Israel. He went after the CIA. He went after the Federal Reserve. And again, what did they do? They literally shot him in the face in front of everybody. All right. And it's still today, as of today, we still don't know, it was Oswald, or we still don't know, who shot him, even though everybody knows. Everybody knows exactly who killed him. Are you kidding me right now? So, I mean, even right now, to me, it's kind of insane seeing how many people are doing so many how many people are doing so many mental gymnastics, trying to, defend Trump on everything that he's doing. And look, not even everything, just one thing, the whole Israel thing, you know what I mean? And again, the war thing, he said, hey, we're going to get out of wars. And what is he doing? He's basically cutting your mom's Medicare and Medicaid, in order for him to, again, afford more bombs to go drop, in Ukraine, or, for Israel to do, or whatever things he's doing out there. And again, most of us already out there are very well versed on the fact that how money is created these days. That money is just comes out of thin air. Basically the Federal Reserve pushes a few buttons on their computer. They get money. It just prints out of nothing. Which, by the way, if we could just print money out of nothing, why are we collecting taxes? Again, it's to demoralize the populace. It's to basically let you know, hey, listen, there's nothing you can do, okay? Except, shut the fuck up and take it, or else you can get the fuck out of here. And even then, we're not gonna let you get the fuck out of here. So the reality is that, right now, yeah, Standing Mannequin says, Trump overturned the removal of fluoride. Yeah, again, they were going to remove fluoride right from the water. I mean, anyways, they're going to remove fluoride from the water, and he basically said, you know what? These people did not buy the whole Epstein thing, and they're not buying any of the shit that we're doing here. So we're going to have to put more fluoride in the water. We're going to have to make the frogs even gayer, more microplastics. I got a prescription, and the prescription is more cowbell. Anyways, remember that one? Anyone? I love this mug. Look at this. Meh. Anyway, so yeah, it's hilarious. So we're already at the point of the empire where the propaganda is not here to try to convince anybody of anything. No, the propaganda now here is just to demoralize you and everybody else. That's it. Basically letting you know what's going on and the fact that you can't do anything about it. Not that you can't do anything about it, you won't do anything about it. And that's really the reality of it. What I mean? It's just a fact. And again, there is something that people can do, but no one's going to do it. No one's going to do it. It's not going to happen. They know they're also very well, informed on that situation. They created this situation where you are basically reliant on the state. You're reliant on the government. You're reliant on them. So you got to deal with it. There's nothing you can do. All right. Nothing any of us can do. It's just the true reality of it. Anyways, by the way, yeah, let me know if the internet is coming through good or not. I think it is. The clouds kind of moved on. I think we got good internet. Yeah, sorry guys. Today I'm a little bit, not, I'm a little under the weather. I got a big kind of headache migraine situation. But again, it doesn't matter. We're here, we're queer. Get used to it, okay? So we're, I'm not going anywhere. We're going to do the show. I'm not going to miss 2 weeks in a row. So again, I'm not a gay frog, all right? So we're gonna, we're gonna power through, and we're gonna have a good show today, and we're gonna just talk about, whatever the hell comes to mind, all right? So, but yeah, guys, a lot of you guys always ask me, it's like, oh my god, where do you come up with these videos, these funny songs? Where do you come up with these topics for the show? Man, like I said, last night it was like almost midnight, and I was again super busy doing a bunch of things, throughout the week, and I didn't get anything done for the live streams. I'm like, man, what am I gonna do? And I couldn't figure anything out, and I figured, you know what? Maybe I'll just talk about this. You know what I mean? I would again just create some sort of a thumbnail and topic, and here we are. So again, please, don't take don't take anything too seriously on the channel. It is all for pure entertainment. I originally started this channel to do comedy, to do funny things, but I quickly realized that takes a lot of work, and trying to be funny on purpose is difficult. I know I'm funny. I know I'm funny looking. I know I can make you guys laugh. I know I know I have certain skills, in order to make that happen, but if all of a sudden I gotta sit there and like, hey, I gotta write a script to do a funny show or to do a funny thing, man, that's difficult. Again, going to show you again with with whatchamacallit, with this video that I made here. Where was it? This is a lot more difficult, than I originally thought. But hey, democracy is basically. But anyways, okay, I'm not gonna play it all over again, but I'm trying to get as many views as possible on that dumb video. Anyways, but yeah, long story short, whatever. That's what I'm trying to do with this channel here. So, but what I was gonna say is that when I started doing these live streams, when I started talking about these topics on the channel, that's what really you guys are interested in. And well, all of a sudden, that's why I'm here. Just talking about what's going on in the world, because it's just so wacky these days. It seems like you guys want to talk about it. So, but yeah, look, that's like another thing with the fluoride in the water. I mean, everyone at this point knows, of the fluoride in the water, the Epstein list, whether or not Epstein existed. I mean, give me a break, right? So I mean, it's not even about the Epstein list. Okay, it's more about the kid diddlers. You know, we've all known about the kid diddlers. You know, throughout history, and the reality is that you know it's always funny to me how everyone always makes excuses for those kid diddlers. You know, in the sense of like you know, back when it was the church. You know, back when people would always say, "Oh my God, get away from the Catholic Church, get away from the church." You know, everyone there's a kid diddler. You know, and everyone's like, "No, what are you talking about? No, they don't do that." No, until now. Well, now it's very open, you know, and everybody knows fully well, you know, that the Catholic Church is kid diddler HQ, you know, and so now, you know, I remember like 10 years ago or whatever, you know, they had people like Alex Jones or Mel Gibson. Remember that guy? Shout out to him, you know, and he would say, you know, Hollywood is full of kid diddlers, and you know, there was a bunch of people that would come out of Hollywood saying, yeah, it's sick, it's horrible what they're doing there, and everyone's like, no, what are you talking about? What's up with those conspiracy theories? Blah blah blah. And now today, fast forward 10 years later, it's beyond wide open. And now they're gaslighting you into, again, what are you talking about? What kid diddle? Can we just move on? Can we just move on and talk about something else? You know, there's nothing to talk about here. Yada, yada, yada. And look, in my opinion, I've already mentioned this to you guys before. You know, why is it that all of this is in the news? You know, why are they talking about all these things? You know, and well, it's because, you know, they're not talking about the real things that are going on. You know, they're not really talking about, you know, what they're passing. Again, look, I am not a Democrat or Republican. I'm a nothing. I'm a nothing. All right. I'm an American. I love my country. I love the USA. But you know, I also love it at a distance. Okay. And I know it's a very toxic relationship, so I'd rather just stay over here in another country. But with that said, you know, I'm not going to sit here and pretend, you know, like one team is better than the other. You know, right now we got the Democrats and the Republicans on one side, and they're both pointing fingers at each other, trying to finger each other here. You know, basically, oh, look at, you know, Trump is with Epstein. And then people are like, oh, yeah, and Biden was with Epstein. I mean, everyone's a kid diddler. That's the problem. You know, it doesn't matter whether you're, you know, gay Obama, you know, with, you know, Big Mike, you know, out there, or, you know, you're Clinton, you know, flying on the Lolita Express, or you're, you know, whatever, or you're Trump, you know, again, you know, Trump, I mean, come on, man. Before Trump even became president the first time, you know, what did he do? You know what I mean? For a living, in a sense. I mean, not for a living. What was one of the things that he did? Or he was the sponsor of. You know, he's the one that ran. Okay, he's the one that run the Miss America pageant. I mean, you know, don't get me started there. So, I mean, this is not, you know, uncommon. I mean, you go all around the world, okay, and there's some sort of kid diddling, you know, going on in just about every culture, okay. And you know, I was talking to my wife about this not that long ago, and I think that's really what it is. You know, when we're just talking about this one particular subject, you know, why is it that nobody's doing anything about it, or no one can really do anything about it, or why is it that it's surprising, but not surprising at the same time that everyone's a kid diddler. You know, whether you know they are, you know, in politics or in Hollywood or any kind of power structure. Why is that? Well, the reality is because many people are complicit in it. It's a worldwide thing. Doesn't matter what culture or country you're coming from. It's a thing. Okay, there are still countries out there, you know, that marry you know, young kids to older people, you know, like arranged marriages and shit. You know, that's still like a common thing in some parts of the world, believe it or not. All right. So you know, so you know, with that being said, you know, the debauchery that comes from, you know, the gay culture and all that stuff, and the transgender stuff. And again, I'm not. I lived a debaucherous life without being gay, so I know what that means. You know, so I'm not singling out or pointing out on anybody. I don't care what you do in your bedroom with your friends, with your loved one. I don't. You know what I'm saying? Like that's you and everyone, whatever. But what I'm saying is that why they've been trying to normalize this for the longest time. And the thing is, it's because the reality is that again, there are many things that they're doing to us, whether it's the fluoride in the water or the tetracycline in the water, making the frogs gay, in turn making you gay, the microplastics, all the chemicals in the food, all the propaganda that they're spitting at you through feminism and other shit. They're basically, creating weak men. And what is a weak man? What is a weak man? A weak man is basically someone that is very effeminate. Okay. And then why is it that, while that is going on, why is it that women are becoming, like men, like strong men? Obviously a civilization cannot survive that way. It has to be, strong men, and the women are the women. Women are strong as well, but they got their role just like men got their roles. I am a guy that likes traditional gender roles, okay, especially in the home. Me and my wife practice that, but again, my wife is modern, just like I'm modern. I'm 44 years old. I'm gonna turn 44. My wife is 35 years old. She grew up with feminism. I grew up a little bit more old school, Gen X or whatever, and I grew up in a Hispanic household, back in the US. So for her, it's been a transition, from being a strong, independent woman to just being a woman. And for me, I've always been a strong, independent man living in a gay world, in a world with a lot of weak men. Because the way I was raised, by my dad, by my family members, my uncles, whatever, all that stuff. I grew up in a household, very conservative, even though we were very liberal. Again, you do whatever you want, but very conservative in that sense. And so, obviously, as everything has, just gotten gayer. And what do I mean by that? Again, just the fact that, men, are now delegating responsibility. Men are not, are choosing not to be, good fathers, are choosing not to, take on the responsibility of, maintaining a household. Again, changing a tire. That's also like a funny thing, where like, a man, these 50 years ago, 70 years ago, every man knew how to change a tire. Like 95% of men. Now, it's like what, 10% of men can change a tire? And it's just so many things like that. And so yeah, Terry Wright says the ancient Greeks were into kid diddling. Yeah, no, again, I mean, look, right now, look, for example, you can go to Afghanistan, over there, and Afghanistan have they super duper traditional male roles out there, right? And female roles out there. You got the women are in freaking hijabs, for crying out loud, okay? So and in that culture, part of what they do over there is that, in order one of the customs, in order to make a kid a man, they'll get like 13-year-old kids, 12-year-old kids, whatever, and they'll take them out camping, and basically they're getting aped. They're getting aped, okay, by the men. And that's part of their culture on how to become a man. And that's like ancient, old school, whatever. I mean, I'm telling you, man, it's like we're living in a very weird time in which all these things are kind of coming together. And, we have to confront a lot of these things from, our past, or the past of humanity, the current situation as well. Again, this is currently happening right now over there. What the hell, right? So, I mean, there's a lot of weird stuff, going on out there. That's right. Shout out to everyone out there in the chat. Welcome in. And by the way, guys, if there's anything you want to add to the conversation, you got any questions you want me to talk on something or speak on something in specific, please feel free. But yeah, like I remember back in the day when, gay friends, gay people that we used to know. By the way, I know I have a lot of gay friends right now, and they'll tell me straight up, older gay men, women, whatever. And they basically said, yeah, back in the day when we were fighting for gay rights, we just wanted to be left alone. We just wanted to, be gay. That's it. We don't want any of the stuff that's happening right now. And that's part of the culture war. The same culture war that, they tried, the same culture war that they've implemented in places like China, in places like Russia, where basically what they were trying to do is make everybody equal. Have you ever seen like some of the, communist propaganda, from back in Russia back in the day? It looks like, like a nice gay couple, going to work. Let me see if I can find. Uh, let me see. Let me see. Communist. Oh yeah, there we go. Let me see. So I mean, here, check it out. So you can see it's like this is like the old communist propaganda, and you got the strong women, taking on the male gender roles. Okay. Um, Let me see. We have there's a few images. I can't find them. Oh, there we go. Here's one right there. Look at that. Looks like a nice gay couple there. Shout out to them. All right. So, what they were trying to do is, again, what they did is, just try to get everybody, on the same page. Everybody is equal. So again, in China, what they did is they eliminated the gender roles altogether, and they basically said no, male and females are the same. Back when they were going through the Cultural Revolution, what did they do? Hey, we're shaving everybody's head. We're all gonna look alike and be alike, and one of us, one of us. You know. So yeah, I mean, it's very, very interesting, to see it all like kind of like a play out again. The USA is turning into communism. I think we're already there. Communism, socialism, whatever the fuck you want to call it, fascism, whatever. But it's here, man. It's very, very interesting, right? To just see it all play out. Um, but yeah, eventually what happened was that, like, for example, in Russia, by the time that Russia, um, by the time the USSR fell, the what is it like, the communist Russian whatever, once it fell back in the 90s, um, and it started this transition, one of the major problems that they were having, was the fact that a lot of the males were already so feminized that they were not the strong Russian males, okay, that they were they were used to. In fact, the females were the strong ones, okay? And throughout the years, again, from the 90s going forward, but especially in like the last 20, 15, 10 years, whatever, there's been a giant push to start, to reverse all that and create the traditional gender roles again. And the men have to be men. You're going to go to the military. You're going to learn how to change a tire. You're going to, be a man. And then the women, you're going to be a woman. And that's it. I mean, sure, it's Russia, strong women, strong population, strong everything. But, even the women, were tired of, the drunken Slav, the drunken, Russian male, wearing his Adidas, jumpsuit, drinking vodka all day. They were tired of that shit. They wanted a real man. You know what I mean? And again, I mean, it's very difficult with the Russian woman. I don't know if you've seen, women that are from Eastern Europe, from Russia, from all those areas, from the former Soviet Union. They're strong women. You know, too strong for even the typical American male type of thing. And they've been trying to reverse that. I mean, all the women there have been desperately trying to leave all that behind, but it's hard. It takes a long time. It takes over a generation to change, and vice versa. They're trying to get the men strong. That's part of like the whole conspiracy as to the whole war. The Ukraine war. It's just he was Putin is trying to just speed that up a little bit. So. In China, what did they do in China? In China, they basically made everybody the same when they went through their revolution, their cultural revolution. It was basically, they eliminated the past. They burned all the history books and basically said, okay, we're going to start a brand new history. We're going to start a brand new everything. And so part of all that, was making everybody the same when they were going through the cultural revolution. Let me see if there's anything on Google about that, because they're very let me see. Let me see if we can find. Hold on. Okay. Just making everybody the same. Okay. Yeah, I'm not trying to click on any videos here. But yeah, that was the whole idea. There's not much information out here. Um, there's not, yeah. There's tons of, they're out there. Okay. But anyway, so part of what they were doing was getting rid of their past history. Getting rid of the past and creating a brand new um narrative, a brand new history. And we're seeing the same thing in the USA right now as well. Part of like when you're seeing like them trying to get rid, and when the Democrats or the liberals were in power, when they were trying to get rid of statues and trying to get rid of or change, we got to get rid of Christopher Columbus and this and that. Listen, man, no, you can't do any of that. Yes, we have a lot of horrible things in our past, and but the thing is that the quickest way to repeat this shit is to eliminate it so that the people cannot learn from it to obviously not repeat it. Right now when we're seeing all the stuff with like Hitler, have you seen any of that stuff? I mean, man, it's kind of nuts. Hold on, let me see if I can find it on YouTube. Hold on a second. This is some wacky stuff. You know what? I'll take the hit because I know YouTube is not gonna like this per se. But whatever. Damn it. Okay, here we go. It's kind of weird. It's kind of crazy, man. Is this? Yeah, look, check this out.
In connection with the Jewish question, I have this to say. It is a shameful spectacle to see how the whole democratic world is oozing sympathy for the poor, tormented Jewish people, but remains hard-hearted and obdurate when it comes to helping them, which is surely, in view of its attitude, an obvious duty. The arguments that are brought up as an excuse for not helping them actually speak for us Germans and Italians. For this is what they say. 1, we, that is the democracies, are not in a position to take in the Jews. Yet in these empires there are not 10 people to the square kilometer, while Germany, with her 135 inhabitants to the...
All right, hold on a second. This might not be the video I'm looking for. But anyways, look, long story short, a lot of people don't know this. So what was going on? Why did Senor Hitler, why was he against the Jews, in his time? By the way, again, hopefully I don't get dinged here, by YouTube. But look, the reality is that the Jews were in power in Germany, and they were pushing the transgender stuff. They were pushing the gay agenda. They were pushing, all of this stuff that, again, leads to what we were just talking about, right? The communism. And he was like, no. And the Germans were like, no, the German people like, we don't want any more of this shit. Okay? And so that's really what pushed him. Let me see. There's some... I know. This is terrible. I know. I'm fucking putting Hitler videos here. This is like so fucking terrible. Maybe this one. Alright, hold on. But there was some... Man, I should have... See, I just didn't know I was going to talk about this. Maybe this one.
When you see those black and white films of Hitler spitting and shouting and ranting, you assume that he's talking about the Jews all the time.
Have you seen how they've translated into English now with AI?
They're going through it, yeah.
In Hitler's voice.
Yeah.
For correctness, whether you believe that I have been given...
That's amazing.
That I have advocated for you in these years, that I have been decent, I have spent my time in service of my people. Now cast your vote. If yes, then stand up for me.
Right, hold on. We gotta find oh, maybe this here. Hold on a second, guys. I think this one maybe.
Freedom or slavery? Bürger much more clearly and abrupt. Hitler's defense, February 20.
Man, I can't find it. Damn it. Maybe this one. The last one.
Have been deaf to the constant warnings that we have been trying to address to the mass of our people almost without interruption for the past 3 years. Of course, many people still do not know why they are upset. They believe that perhaps it is only about so-called special privileges, or about the restriction of freedom of speech, or about the politicization of the civil service, and so on. Certainly, all these are extremely serious matters. Today, however, it is about much more. It is about a huge process of destruction of our people and our fatherland. This is happening now before our very eyes. All these things would be trifles in themselves if they did not represent characteristics of a process which has been taking place for many years and whose end will be a horrible one. We can all sense that now two worlds are colliding with each other, and not only here, but everywhere we look, in the now oppressed Russia, in Italy, in France, and in England, etc. A relentless struggle between the ideals of the national-minded and the nebulous international. It is a struggle that now goes back almost 120 years. It began at the moment when the Jew received the right of citizenship in the European states. The political emancipation of the Jews was the beginning of a madness, for with it one gave full civic rights and equality to a people which was racially much more clearly and abruptly demarcated than all others, which always formed and will always form a state within the state. Perhaps not all at once, but it went just as it does today, and as it always has gone. First a little finger, then a second and a third, and so bit by bit, until at last a people which still in the 18th century appeared to be completely alien came to possess politically the same rights of citizenship as ourselves. And that's exactly how it went economically as well.
So basically, right now, what he is saying is basically, again, just like right now, every single American, a good majority of Americans right now, are complaining as to, hey, wait a minute, Israel has taken over the USA. Israel above America. Why is it that, the USA, I thought it was, I thought Trump said, make America great again, right? Right, MAGA, right? Make America great again. So why are we making Israel great again? So it's the same thing. Again, Israel has taken over all the politicians, over everything, and they've taken over the state. And so the same thing happened there, and the same thing has happened throughout history. I don't want to get into it, but it's not even about the Jews. It's about the, Zionist, okay, and all that stuff. But look, all I'm saying is that history is fucking repeating itself. All right, I'm not here. By the way, anyone watching this, I'm not here fucking defending Hitler. I'm not here on Team Hitler. I'm not none of that shit. All I'm saying, warning you motherfuckers out there is that history is fucking repeating itself. It's as simple as that, and we're seeing it. All right, and so we're not. A lot of people think it's like, it's not going to get any worse. It's going to get so much worse. It's going to get insanely worse. Okay, and how is it going to get much worse? Well, again, like I said, look at Trump. Supporting Israel, supporting the Zionists, supporting that shit. At some point, somebody is going to rise from the fucking ashes like Hitler did, and he's going to be like, all right, we're done. We're done. We're done. All right? And that the rest is history, like I said. And we're entering that. All right, we're there. We're there. Okay? So that's really kind of like what's going on right now. Okay, right now I see you guys in the chat already fighting this shit, like the fluoride or whatever, Like, listen, man. Look, right now, if we really had a fucking leader that was worth anything, he would be like, okay, we're getting rid of the fluoride now. We're getting rid of this now. Executive decision, executive order, executive order, executive order, executive order. We're not going to fucking, support Israel. We're not going to fucking support any more wars, whether it's Ukraine, whether this, whether that. We're going to fucking bring everything back. I'll make America great again. We're going to fucking do whatever it takes right fucking now. Let's do it. They're not doing any of that shit. They're not doing anything remotely close to that shit. Okay? Like, at all. Period. End of story. The end. All right? So anyone out there still defending, the right, the left, you guys are all fucking brainwashed still. Okay? Enough. All right? And I'm sorry, again, I want to make comedy on this channel. I want to do funny things, but the reality is that it's kind of hard, in the world that we're living in today, unless I'm just making fun, of all this ridiculousness that's going on right now. But look, right now we're living in some weird, tumultuous times, okay? And, the reality is that, history is repeating itself. Again, people, look, Hitler was fucking Jewish. You know what I mean? Like, are you kidding me right now? You know what I mean? Like, people don't know that. Or some of you do. Some of you don't. Some of you, you know, whatever. There's a lot of Jews out there right now, a lot of Jewish that are anti-Israel, anti-Zionist. I mean, are you kidding me right now? In fact, let's just, you know, again, this is what's making the world so gay. The fact that we have all this information, we know the fucking truth, and yet everybody is just trying to fucking do all these mental fucking gymnastics, you know, to fucking whatever, you know, prove this or prove that, or no, you're wrong on this, no, you're wrong on that, with schematics and this and that, instead of fucking realizing what the fuck is actually going on. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous right now. Here, in fact, I'm gonna look at it. Hopefully we can find it on the internets. Maybe not, because, you know, I know how it is. Hold on a second. You know, right now, there we go. I mean, look. Where's it? Here. Look, these are Jews. Okay? Look how they're getting treated in Israel. This is in Israel. The fuck, man? The fuck? You know, right now they're
to demonstrate against the high courts of Israel, who just decided that 63,000 people who learn Torah have to be thrown in the army, and this is something that we cannot agree to in any kind of circumstances. The whole of Israel is protected by those people who learn Torah. They want our children and grandchildren not to fight in the army, to be ruined in the army. They want to make them into irreligious people, and something like that we have to stand very strong, because it's like killing them, worse than killing them.
Let me see if I can find.
Who did you?
Hold on, I gotta find some recent. But I mean, look, man. At the end of the day, it's. Look at that.
The protest is about the Zionist state and the Zionist ideology in general. They want to declare that the Jewish nation has nothing to do with the Torah anymore, with the Holy Torah, with the Holy Scripts, with the Holy Bible, with the Holy books, with the Holy tradition, and they want to switch it for a nation that they have created. They want to transform the nation of the Jews to create a nation with a new ideology of people that live under a state, like each and every kingdom in the world, without Torah, without the commands of God to its nation. And it's against the Torah. That's why we declare that Jews are not Zionists, because the Zionist ideology is not Jewish.
That's right. I mean, look, and look, the reality, like I said, man, you know, it's, you know, right now, they're, man, what was I gonna say? I lost my train of thought. Yeah, right now there's like a civil war. You know, there's like a civil war happening in Israel. You know, half of Israel does not support Netanyahu or support any of that shit, and then the other half do support it, and that half that supports it is becoming less and less and less. You know, I saw a sign in one of these protests not that long ago, and the basically the sign said, "The Gaza Strip is the only portion of the world that has not been taken over by Israel." And again, what the fuck is even Israel? Israel didn't even exist, you know, 75 years ago. All right. So, and no, I am anti-Zionist. You know, I'll fucking say it right now. I think I've said it multiple times. You know, and why? Again, I am not. You know me. I don't give a fuck. You know, I'm. Whatchamacallit, I'm. You know, I'm all about freedom, and everyone can do whatever they want and believe whatever they want and all that shit. But there are some things that we do have to stand for here. Okay, and again, if you don't stand for anything, you'll fall for. If you don't stand for something, you're going to fall for everything, all right? And, you know, the reality is that we cannot be okay at all, period, end of story, with what they're fucking doing. And who the fuck is they? You know what, again, the Jews, the real motherfucking Jews are not Zionist. Again, who the fuck is a Zionist? Oh, the boomer grandma that is a fucking, a Christian. You know what I'm saying? All these other people. Yeah, don't let Claudia hear you. Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Like, again, look, even Mexico. Even fucking Mexico. Look, when she got elected, I was trying to make the best of it and hope for the best and hope, I didn't want to be believing any of the truth and the propaganda. And I was lying to myself like a lot of people are lying to themselves. But, again, look where we are now. You know what I mean? I don't even want to say anything else. As you already said, peaceful anarchy. Best not to say anything at all. But no, I mean, I'm telling you. You know what I mean? It's not, it's not what we think it is at all. People have no fucking clue. And it's because I think a lot of it has a lot to do with a lot of it has to do with whatchamacallit, with like the propaganda that we're being fed. But I'm trying to find, man. I'm trying to find some. I'm trying to find some videos. Some of these guys. Here we go. Maybe this.
So
guy.
what brings you here today? To support Palestinian rights. We as Jews are embarrassed what's happening there in the state of Israel, in the Jewish name. And what's your message to the people of Palestine? They shouldn't give up the struggle. They should continue to fight and not give up the struggle against the state of Israel, because by the end, Palestine will be free, because this is truth. Will succeed by the end. What's your message to the people of Palestine?
They should know. We feel very shame what's going on there, especially they're doing everything in our name. In the name of Jews, in the name of the Torah, in the name of God. It's so shameful. We are with you. You have to know. The Zionists are strong. We are weak. But God is on our side. At the end of the day, the Palestinian flag will be on all Palestine, from the river to the sea.
But look, I'm going to tell you right now, like, again, just going back to, what we were saying earlier, the reality is that, again, right now, the only, the Zionists have taken control of the fucking world already. The banks, again, people always name the Rothschilds and the this and the that. People have no fucking clue. Those people are nobodies, fucking Illuminati, that's nobodies. All these fucking people are nobodies, bro. There are people way above that, and they're the ones running the show. If you read the Bible, if you read all this shit, you know what I mean, and you really do that fucking homework out there that nobody does, you realize very quickly, that they've been warning us for fucking centuries, okay? All the information's out there. The people that call themselves Zionists, the people that call themselves Jews, Zionist Jews, these people are just, they hide under the cover of that religion, but they're not really Jews. They're not really, even Christians. There's so many people out there, and, it's just very whack, as the kids like to say these days. And, it's just, we're living in some weird times. And so, like, right now, it's just about standing up for what's right. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. So right now, how the fuck can you, as an American, stand behind anything that's fucking going on right now in the USA? For example, again, as an American, are you proud of the homeless situation that we have in the USA, of the fentanyl problem that we have in the USA, of the destruction of again, our rights? Most Americans have zero rights. Okay, if you don't believe me, get stuck in the system. If you don't believe me, go ahead and really, stand up for your fucking rights, and let's see how quickly, they're gonna fucking shut your ass up. You know what I mean? Go ahead and talk to a police officer in the USA. Go ahead. Let me see how fucking free you really are. All right. And again, it's all in the name of fucking Israel. And they're not even hiding anything anymore. Again, just like I said, earlier in the show, when it comes to like the whole propaganda thing, the propaganda these days, it's not to convince anybody. No, they don't give a fuck about that no more. They already know that all of you know. All of you. Doesn't matter what the fuck you believe in, all right? Everybody knows that everybody knows, all right? And they're just fucking putting it in your fucking face. And at this point, it's like, we're going to fucking do whatever the fuck we want, and there's nothing you can do about it. Capiche? Capiche. All right? And that's the fucking world that we're living in right now. It's fucking nuts. I mean, look, this is why I prefer to live in a country that's, very anarchy, very anarchistic. Yeah, we got the government. Yeah, we got, they're trying to, implement, the great reset out here, just like they're implementing it everywhere. But listen, man, I live in a country where, at the end of the day, if they force everybody to use the fucking, digital, whatever, the wallet, the digital imprint, the digital everything, they're not going to do it. Look, right now, for example, here in Mexico, they're trying to implement the biometric, ID, the digital ID. And you know what 99% of all the Mexicans are saying? No, we're not going to fucking do it. Force us to do it. And they're going to say, it's like, oh, okay, so you're going to make all the cartel members do it too? You're going to make all the, all the bad hombres out there doing all these bad things. Are they going to also get on the digital grid? No, of fucking course not. Of course not. Okay, and not just that, but like the whole system out here is cash only and all this other stuff. Again, they have been fighting this without even knowing they've been fighting this in this country for a very long time. And there's many countries like that out there. But in a country like the USA, bro, like imagine in the USA if all of a sudden tomorrow, okay, your bank card doesn't work anymore. Imagine if your credit card isn't working anymore. Imagine if you cannot use your digital imprint anymore. Now what? And within 2 or 3 days, they're gonna fucking be killing each other, okay, in the USA. They were fucking killing each other in the USA over motherfucking toilet paper during fucking COVID. Imagine if the fucking bank system fucking freezes up or fucks up. Or, again, they start really implementing these draconian fucking things. Bro, it's not going to end well. In Mexico, for example, they do something like that, or other parts of Latin America, people will wipe their motherfucking ass. They'll be like, oh, no digital imprint? Oh, so that means I don't got to pay the fucking digital debt from your digital fucking bank? Good. Fuck you, suck a dick. We got cash. We got pesos. Oh, you're gonna take our fucking cash away? Who gives a fuck? We got gold. We got silver. Fuck it. We'll just fucking barter like we fucking do all the time anyway. Who gives a fuck? You know what I mean? So, and there's many countries like that, okay? So, why is Bitcoin and cryptocurrency so fucking important? Look, Bitcoin has been hijacked. I'm not going to talk about that because that's even more touchy subject than the Zionist shit. But, when it comes to crypto, it's about the fucking technology. Why? There's many countries, like look at Zimbabwe, look at fucking Venezuela, look at Cuba, many countries out there where they've lost their fucking currency and they lost the ability to transact. Listen, they just create a fucking shitty cryptocurrency and they use that to fucking transact in, out away from the system. So that's the thing. I mean, right now, as the world gets shittier and everything keeps fucking deteriorating and falling apart, there are many parts of the world that are going to be able to survive because they've been surviving with no problem. But many countries out there, again, USA, Canada, many parts of Europe, all these fucking places that are really integrated, they got your fist right up your ass, when it comes to like the digital, imprint, you're fucked. You're fucked right now. What is, what I was talking about with the distractions earlier in the show, with the Epstein list and all this other shit, right? What is that distracting you guys from? Well, the fact that they've passed the Genius Act, the fact that they gave Palantir, whatever, all that, power, basically, you're fucked. You're all fucked, if you're living in there, if you're living in that system. I mean, look at what they did in Canada when the truckers, were doing the protests a few years ago, and I could go on and on. You guys are all beyond fucked, all right? And there's no way out at this point. Unless there's a total, revolution, and in order for that to happen, the whole fucking thing has to come apart. Will it come apart? Probably not. Again, they just passed the Genius Act, so now what are they going to do? They're going to they already have all these stable coins. If you don't know anything about this, do some research. Anyways, they're using the stable coins, okay? Those cryptocurrencies that are tied, to the value of the dollar or whatever the fuck, and they're going to use that to just create a new currency. And they're just going to continue printing and continue fucking you in the ass and yada, yada, yada. And that's it. So, I mean, that's the thing. Right now, we are, we're moving into a world right now that, it's going to be very dark, very dystopian. It is only going to get worse. Again, the fact that, Trump got elected. I called this before he got elected. I said it. I go, look, first of all, a lot of people, okay, were wondering and asking, it's like, oh, why did Biden, open the gates and let all those fucking immigrants in and yada, yada, yada. Well, again, it's to create the problem so they can bring you the solution. And what was the solution? What did Trump run on? He said, hey, we're going to bring back law and order in your face. And what has he done? He's bringing back law and order. Again, he's not deporting the bad hombres. He's deporting, who? People that shouldn't be getting deported to begin with. He's harassing fucking U.S. citizens now. You know what I'm saying? You even look like a fucking immigrant, which most Americans do. You know what I mean? Well, you're now getting harassed. Welcome to fucking fascism. Welcome to fucking dystopia. You know what I mean? You voted for this. Again, you didn't vote for this during Trump. You voted for this year after year after year after year after fucking year. All right? Come on. These people are not voted in. If you still believe in that shit, I got a fucking bridge to sell you. All right? Are you kidding me right now? These are all selections. They've all been selected. Okay? The whole process of voting is just, a fucking dog and pony show so that people think that they got some fucking power. Are you kidding me? If the people really had fucking power with voting, they wouldn't allow you to fucking do it to begin with. Are you serious right now? And so yeah, look, right now, the only thing that's really happened with Trump getting elected, during his presidency now, is that the veil has been lifted completely. That's it. The end. We even talked about the fucking Fed the other day as to basically saying, like, yeah, we need a private entity to control the money of this country. The fuck you mean you need a private entity? Well, wait a minute. I thought it wasn't a private entity. What the fuck? You know what I mean? It's like it's in your face. And again, most people already know the truth. There's no denying it anymore. You know what I mean? Like everybody is very well versed on what the fuck is going on, and yet everybody's just still fighting against each other, fighting amongst each other, yada, yada, yada. Look, the other day I heard there was like a shooting in New York. I don't fucking know. I don't follow that shit, but my friends were telling me about it. Hey, did you see the thing? And I'm like, whatever. I checked in it, and I was like, I couldn't really find any information. In fact, I was on ESPN.com, okay, looking for some Miami Dolphins bullshit, some sports stuff. And, I was on the NFL homepage, and basically they were saying, like, oh yeah, the shooter was trying to go after some NFL executives because of the CTE bullshit, whatever, the brain damage thing. I'm like, oh, okay, that's what it was. Then whatever. And then today I find out, oh no. You know who got killed? It was one of the fucking CEOs or one of the heads of fucking BlackRock. What? Yeah, that's right. It's the same thing, that happened with the Luigi shit, when they went after the head of the United Healthcare. Now they're going after another CEO. So why are they hiding that information? Why are they hiding, who got killed? Well, because you already saw everybody's reaction to the Luigi thing, when they killed the United Healthcare thing. Literally every American was fucking Team Luigi. So same shit here. See a pattern? See what things are, what's happening here? Slowly but surely, the people are going to, they're snapping. They've had enough. Again, look, this is history, man. When do revolutions or any of these major changes actually happen? When the populace has no more food and no more comforts available to them. Once the people start fucking starving, or the people really start struggling, and struggling to the point meaning that, it doesn't matter what the fuck they do. In fact, almost like death is like whatchamacallit, like something that will release them from the pain. That's when you start seeing shit like this. Because it's like at the end of the day, it's like, people have lost hope. People have, they got no other choice or alternative. And they're basically saying, you know what? I'm going to fucking die of starvation. I'm going to fucking die of working my ass to death. I'm going to die of a mental fucking aneurysm. Whatever the fuck. You might as well, I'll go out with a bang. Pun intended. Okay? And I'm telling you, man, it's just gonna keep getting worse and worse. You know, people are, you know, you haven't seen anything yet. You have not seen anything yet, and it's gonna get really bad. It's gonna get really bad before it gets any better. Again, we're only what 6 fucking months, 7 months into Trump's presidency, and again, it's not Trump's presidency. It's Israel's presidency. You know, and you know who's running the show really? What the fuck is going on there? You know, why the fuck is it? You know, we can't even talk about that without the fear of getting in trouble. Are we? I mean, it's fucking wacky as hell, bro. I'll tell you that. And yeah, you know what I mean. Like I said, and so you know, why have they? You know, for example, in the case of like the Hitler stuff that I was telling you about, why is it that you know, even I want to show you these things, and at the same time, it's like fuck, man. You know, as soon as I show it, I know people are going to be thinking what they're going to be thinking, and they're going to be on their own fucking high horse or whatever, and it's like. Man, just it's history, man. Everybody needs to know what the fuck is going on. Why the fuck did he do what he did? You know, why was he so fucking angry? And why did everybody follow him? What was so bad? What was so bad that created that situation? Why can't we learn about that? You know, why are what books was he burning? By the way, yeah, people don't ask. People don't fucking ask. Remember, you know, Hitler burned a lot of books, right? Germany burned a lot of books. What books were they burning? A lot of the same fucking books that you guys don't want to fucking read today either. You know, all the transgender shit, you know, all this communist, you know, propaganda, you know, all this stuff. You know, right now, look, World War II happened, right? World War II happened. You know what? I'm going to put some fucking numbers up, you know, so that way I don't fuck it up here. All right? Hold on. List of entries. Okay, so all right, look, boom. All right, there we go. All right, look at that. Okay, so World War II. Why is it that all we talk about during World War II is the fucking Holocaust and the Jews they got, you know, they got killed? Again, look at that. World War II. Okay, the countries with the highest death tolls in World War II were the Soviet Union and China. Okay, followed by Germany, Poland, Japan, whatever. Anyways, right here, Soviet Union. Okay, 20 to 27 million deaths. China, 15 to 20 million deaths. Again, I don't want to downplay you know, the Jews in the concentration camps and all that shit, but that was under 2 million. And again, I don't want to get into all that either, but you know, the reality is that the numbers are much smaller than that. In fact, they're so fucking small they're not even on the fucking chart that Google provides. Where the fuck are they? I don't see it. Do you see it? Again, Germany. We're talking about Germany, you know, Hitler, the Hitler guys, okay? 6 to 7 million. Poland, Japan. There are no fucking Jews in Japan. You know, Indonesia, India, Yugoslavia, France. The fuck, man? The Jews, you know, according, you know, to real historians and the people that really, you know, have really dug in through the numbers, I think it was like 200,000. So why the fuck is it all about them and all about that and all about that narrative? What the fuck, man? What about just China and the Soviet Union? Look at that. That's like 40 million people. The fuck? And by the way, again, we're always talking about the Holocaust and Hitler's the worst person on the fucking planet. I mean, come on, man. Do we really got to go and fucking do another search? You know what? Deadliest. There's the deadliest wars in history. I mean, fuck. Oh, there we go. You got World War II. Look, I mean, look at that. You know, and there's hold on. You know what? Hold on. Was this it? No, I'm trying to find. Hold on a second. I'm trying to find. How many died during China's Cultural Revolution? Nah, man, this is not. Yeah, it's not. Dang, man, it's that's the thing. It's like China is also in control here. You know what I mean? So it's like so fucking. You can never get any real numbers on the thing. Anyways, it says only 2 million. There's a lot more than 2 fucking million. All right. Anyways, according to the fucking Chinese National Archives, yeah, whatever. Anyways, look, the point is that communism alone has killed a lot more motherfuckers are out there than any of these fucking wars. Okay, but again, there's plenty of list of wars, deadliest wars. Okay, so. Look at that, okay? Okay, we got World War III. We got the Mongol conquest, okay? We got the three kingdoms of China. China's killed a lot of motherfuckers, man. Holy shit. Anyways, look at that. 85 million, 60 million, 34 million, 30 million, 25 million, 22 million. It's like, and again, the Holocaust is the worst motherfucking thing, and they don't even make the top 100. The fuck, man? So, look, they got a complete list. Look at this. So, yeah, man. It is very interesting. Oh, look. Oh, no, that was something else. I thought it was the. Yeah, so, I mean, yeah, man. It is just interesting, again, how the narratives get spin. Hey, look, how about this? I'll leave it to you guys with this. Norm Macdonald, the comedian, has one of my favorite quotes of all time. Okay? And basically, he said, oh, man, we are so lucky. You know what? Maybe I'll find it. Let me see if I can find it. Nah, fuck it. It's going to take too long. But he said this. He goes, how lucky are we that the good guys always won the war? That the good guys always won. How lucky are we? Are we, though? Did the good guys always win? Have the good guys always been winning? Yeah. Anyway, so you got Pedro. Shout out to Pedro out there. Let me see. The democide, is that what it was? Okay, then thank you. Thank you. All right. Yeah, I was gonna say, man, because it's hold on a second. What does it say? Oh, is that what it is? Democide? Oh, there we go. Boom. Thank you. Thank you, Pedro. Shout out to you. That's where you get the special wrench out there fixing the shit, fixing the show. Okay, look at this. Look at China. Communist regimes right there, right at the top. Wikipedia. Motherfucking Wikipedia. Look, all the way, look. Just so you guys can see I'm on Wikipedia. All right? So, by the way, Wikipedia is also fucking propaganda. So this is why, I like to use shit like this, because it's like, fuck. I don't even want to know I don't even want to know what the real numbers are. This is just what they're telling us. But anyways, right there, communist regimes, okay? So long story short, China, look at that. 76 fucking million. Okay? Soviet Union, 62 million. Okay? Fuck, man. It's a lot of people. It's a lot of people. All right? And we got right-wing fascist governments. So we got Nazi Germany killed 21 million. All right? Still nothing compared to fucking communism. Are you kidding me? Shit, it's like triple. It's like 3 times the amount. Holy fuck. Anyways. It's fucking nuts, man. It's fucking nuts. That's what they call it, his story, right? His story. Whoever wins writes the history books. Anyways. So. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So. But anyways, all right. I got a little, extra hopped up today. So. Yeah, I mean, look. Ben Franklin, Thomas Jefferson, all these motherfuckers warned us, man. They warned us of all this shit. Everything that I talked about in today's show, everything that I talked about today, they warned us about. They wrote about. And yet, here we are. Here we are. So, oh my God. So, I don't even know what to say, In fact, hold on. Let's end it with this. Because this is the way I feel right now. And then we're just going to go with this, all right? So, Anyways, guys, all right, we're going to wrap this bad boy up. So, guys, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. I'm sorry if I was a little too unhinged today. I couldn't help myself. It is what it is. I know not everybody likes to hear these videos and this kind of content. That's why I'm trying to keep it more lighthearted and trying to do some comedy. You know, like with the AI video that I did, and slowly but surely we're getting there. But in the meantime, this is me. This is the real me. And, you know, I don't know, man. Sometimes when I got nothing to talk about, it's the most dangerous Jose. All right? Because I start talking about these things. You know, that's why I like to have a topic and keep it lighthearted so I can kind of stay on the rails. Because otherwise, if I'm just talking about what's going on for real, it's, yeah, I get derailed and unhinged very quickly. But hey, whatever. You know, I know a lot of you guys like it, and it's fun for me because, wow, it's already an hour and a half almost. You know, it's over an hour of me screaming at the camera here. You know, so hey, at least the time goes by a lot quicker. Which, like I said, you know, like I said, I got a lot of things to do. It's already, you know, past my my work time. I got to get out of here. I'm not getting paid overtime here, so I got to get out of here. So anyways, guys, all right. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. We're going to leave it, you know, we're going to leave the show with, you know, another song, you know, by the great Alex Jones. And, you know, again, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. You already know the deal. If you like this kind of content, don't forget to please like, please subscribe, please share, please the bell icon. But more importantly than anything else, please continue to stay awesome. I love you guys. And I'll see you guys on the next one. So, all right, we'll leave it here with Alex, and see you guys on Thursday. Next Thursday. Bye, guys. Or, again, don't forget to please like and subscribe. I'm going to be dropping videos on this channel, all the AI stuff that I'm doing with my friend. So, please stay tuned for that. Again, you can just go to the shorts, and you'll see. You know what? In case you haven't seen it, let me just show you one more time. Democracy. All right. What happened? All right, here we go. I made this, my friend. A democracy is basically a government of the people, for the people, by the people. But the people are retarded. You see, even he gets it. Anyways, all right, guys. Love you guys. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye, guys.
The paradigm of absolute control. And that's why we're just out here doing simple things, pointing out that we're meant to be in nature and be natural. And this is where we find the source that God made to transcend the New World Order. And that's why they want to try to keep us out of it.
I'm angry. I've had enough of these people. They're a bunch of Christian murderers, scum. They're on giant death factories, keeping babies alive and selling their body parts. What more do you need to know about these people? I go out and face these scum. They literally crawl out from under rocks. They have green looking skin, and they run around screaming, we love Satan, we wanna eat babies. I have them on video. Hillary's in the creepy, weird, sick stuff, man. She sleeps in the same room with that creepy, weird woman whose mother wears a hood over her head. What the hell? That woman number one is ugly. Imagine how bad she smells, man. I'm told her and Obama just stink. Obama and Hillary both smell like sulfur. Literal vampire pot and the goblins are hobbling round coming after us. My spirit gets close to that evil and I feel it go. We're such self-centered crap, we don't even notice hell itself rising up against us. Millions of pointed people of the very worst type, and I'm so pissed. We're gonna stab your daughter at the mall. We're gonna stab your wife, your son. We're gonna stab you with a butcher knife, and then the police chief is gonna say, we love
I was watching Fox News as I worked out this morning.
Hey, guys, how's it going? Welcome back to another live stream. Back to another live stream. Back
100 times?
to another live stream.
200 times? 500 times?
Who is Jose Arteaga?
Jose Arteaga is a YouTube content creator with several channels focusing on different themes.
I can't do it. We'll do it live. We'll do it live. Thing sucks.
His main channels include travel vlogs and lifestyle content. On his travel channel, Jose Arteaga Travels.
You ain't got the answers, man. You ain't got the answers.
Additionally, he runs a cooking channel and engages in other personal projects that highlight his diverse interests and expertise. Projects and expertise. Projects and expertise. Project, 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 project.